At the end, my mic goes dead. I apologize, but you can follow along with the math. Thank you.
Hey everybody, Miss Thompson here. This morning I wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted to slow it down and give everybody a good reminder of how to work with numbers, okay? So we're going to do something that some people might seem kind of simple, but the act of doing it is what's important, okay? So I was thinking about this the other day. There's a lot of people who are master craftsmen at what they do, right? I have a friend who's an amazing potter working with clay, and they know the nuance of the clay. I have people that I know who are incredible carpenters, and they understand the different grains of wood. I have a lot of friends who are amazing creators of film and photograph, and they can capture light and know how to craft an image. My craft are numbers. That's what I know how to be malleable with. And sometimes I rush that. And so I recognize I want to slow that down. So let's go over something rather simple today. It is just what most people call a multiplication table, but it is so much more than that, okay? So let's take some time together and go over our numbers. Sound fun? All right. And then I want you to do this at home, because this is not for me to do, okay? Again, going back to my potter friend, if you're a master potter who understands the clay, right? If my friend does that mean that I can do that? Does it mean because they already know it? Or if I watch them do it, does it mean I have the skill? No, I have to do it, right? And the only way for me to also become a master potter, like my friend, is to consistently work with the clay as he does, okay? So I'm going to show you how to do it, but if you want to be the master mathematician, you have to start these practices, okay? So parents, kids, whatever your age, how you doing? Buckle up, let's look at some numbers, okay? There's my living room. Okay, so first of all, in order to talk about a multiplication table, okay, we need to understand what is a multiple. Okay, what is a multiple? All right, so what that means is you are counting. So let's do our ABCs. Let's just write out some numbers, okay? And before you think this is too elementary, this is actually something called the Siva of Aristophanes, which was an old mathematician who was trying to find prime numbers, and it was pretty fascinating. And I'm going to iterate this by hand, but you can do it with a calculator. We're just going to write out our numbers. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I will go to 10 here, but there's some discussion on where that should go. 11, 12, 13, 14. I hope we're not getting too confused without the commas. 17, 18, 19, 20. Right? Do we agree those are our numbers? Now, let's just look at multiples of 3. Okay? Multiples of 3. So what are we doing here? Well, we've got three fingers. There is no shame in using your fingers. Please use your fingers. So we're going to start at 3, or in fact, we could start at emptiness, right, which we call 0. And we count 1, 2, 3, and circle it. Now, if we wanted to, we can do in our multiples of 3. There are different ways you can think about this. You could think about this as 1, 2, 3. There's another number. Or you could literally think of it as the space of 3, 3. And the next space of 3 lands us on 6. Okay? So the multiples of 3 would be 3, 6. We could go back to our fingers. 1, 2, 3. But now we're not counting by 1, 2, 3. We could go We're already at 6, so we count 7, 8, 9, right? 7, 8, 9. Use your fingers. It's not a big deal. 10, 11, 12. I missed my number. 13, 13, 14, 15. So you're going to circle the one that you land on, okay? 16, 17, 18. Okay, so now we write all these down. 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Okay, you might think that's easy. That's awesome. I want it to be easy. But that's what we mean when we say a multiple. A multiple of what number? Is you're counting along the number line. And of course, we only wrote to 20. But how far do numbers go? Infinity. This is another reason why, if you're a little more of an advanced, this lesson is for any age group, okay? You could be in elementary school, and in which case I applaud you. Thank you for being here. Or you could be in college wondering about number sets. These are the natural numbers. That's why they're called the counting numbers, because you'll notice we skip over all the infinite decimals in between each spot. So that is what is a multiple. And in multiple, we're talking about counting numbers, okay? So we did 3, but we could do this with any number, okay? Let's pick a slightly harder number. Let's pick, the other day I was rapidly going through sevens. So let's look at sevens. What I would suggest with 7 is you just write for yourself 7 dots. Okay, and we're going to count through our dots. So we start with 7. These are now multiples of 7. Excuse me. I will always write my 7 this way as to differentiate from 1. So we start with 7, and then just like before, but now because it's more than our fingers, although you could easily use one hand and 2 more, right? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You see how we got to 14? Or we could have counted over here. So let's do the same thing. Instead of fingers, let's use our dots. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. And we could keep going. How far could we keep going? Forever, because these numbers are infinite. Let's now think about what we consider a multiplication table, okay? So this is actually the activity I would love for you to do at home. Okay, so I'm going to start the box. So in theory, let's go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've always said every student, we'll go to 10s here, but really should go to 12s. Every student by 7th grade, okay? This is just a good litmus. By 7th grade, have memorized to 12, okay? And if you have an elementary school teacher who tells you you can use a calculator, you know what you say to them? I respect that you have offered me that, but I'm not going to do it because I know that it's going to be detrimental. Imagine as you're trying to learn a sport and your teacher tells you, your coach tells you, you know what? You don't have to learn how to shoot the basket. You don't have to learn that. What does that tell you? If your coach says, don't worry about it, we don't want you to learn how to shoot a layup. Would you feel like they're going to use you in the game? I mean, that's a core skill for basketball, right? So all you ever learn to do is how to dribble and pass. That means you're never going to score, okay? So no matter what you learn in math, if you don't understand your numbers, you'll never be all that you need to be. It's got to store in your brain, okay? 8, 9, 10, 11. Well, now we're off the screen. 12. Scooch up a little bit. So ideally, each of these boxes will be the the number. Okay, so remember how we counted threes before? Let's do our threes. I'm going to do these a little faster because we already did them. 12, 15, 18, and then it actually keeps going, right? And this is where, like, for me, numbers are just bread and butter. 36. And let's do sevens because we did those too. We had 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42. And let's just stop for a second and notice something. Right? We've got this and we've got this. We hit on the same number twice. Well, of course, that makes sense because in this column, it's 7 and 3. And in this column, it's 3 and 7. Okay? Obviously. Now, this may sound simple, but what just happened? Oh my goodness, we could fill in this whole column, can't we? Because we did it, because it was just a duplication of that. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 20.